I'm going to do today is what I do every day is what I call the Babe Ruth. Everybody knows Babe Ruth. He called his shot, did he not? That's what they say in baseball, he called it. Well, he's called that I don't know how many times. I'm not that historic in baseball, but we get to call it 4 times on every horse. Shoeing horses to me isn't just shoeing it and then afterwards saying, wow, man, that's what I'm meant to do. I think when you get to a horse, you have to call your shot before you shoot him. And if you hit the mark, then you hit the home run. If you didn't, then you got to go back and figure out why you didn't do that. So that's fitting feet. I don't care if you want to fit it full, tight, but if you call the shot before and you hit the mark, then you did what you can. Okay, so we're just gonna trim the 2 feet on this guy quickly and get him back. The one thing you'll notice as soon as you pull the shoe off this horse, they match. It's important. They match. The shape of the toe matches the shape of that toe, so exactly what we're talking about. This horse has a long foot from there to there. We haven't got a ton of sole to take out. We don't have that. Just going to clean up this frog. To me, I do not even look at the medial lateral balance of a foot until I've trimmed my frog. I have to have a balanced frog to create a balanced area to look at. It just helps my eyes look better. So, I'm going to just establish a few things, find out where I am. Looking at the bridge of the foot or Duckett's dot, how much in front, how much behind, is very important to me. It's just all about balance. It's not about how much you can take off vertical depth. And you guys will hear that from Bob later on about vertical depth. I agree totally. The more vertical depth you have, and when I mean vertical depth, I'm talking about the distance between the bottom of the coffin bone and the sole. That's a very important distance. If you have horses that are competing big time and you have anything under 14 mils, 10 is pushing it, but 14 is not. It's hard to keep a horse sound. He needs protection. So that's my opinion on that. I try and bring my heels back to, if you feel heels, they'll move and then there'll be a bend in them. If they start to get too long, I try to get them back to that point at least. Because if you don't take them to that point, the reason the bend is there, they're telling you that's my longest I can get, and then from there I'm starting to distort for me. So if I can keep them maintained to that distance, sometimes it comes back to the widest point, sometimes it's in front of the widest point. It's just you have to read each foot. What I do on every day, yes, I'm gonna set the shoe back quite a bit, and then I'm gonna back that toe up and dress it, but I'm not gonna dress it all out. I'm not gonna what I call straight walling it. Just straight wall it, and then next time you come back, that sucker's just weak again. Just you gotta maintain integrity in the front half of this foot. Two-thirds of the weight is carried between quarter clip and quarter clip on the dorsal wall. The wings on either side. So if you take all that wall off and you come back next time, that foot's just bent down. That coffin bone's sinking and it's pulling the wall down with it. So you've got to maintain that integrity at the same time containing a foot. Any questions on that? So now we're going to set this foot up to fit. I said I'm going to back up quite a bit here, and then I'm going to fit the foot and then do some more backing up. Everything from here back, I'm going to make sure I'm done fitting and I don't have to rasp any more off the front. I'm just going to dub it off after I fit that foot. So here, I'm going to build this foot. I'm looking at the sole to white line junction, especially on this type of foot. It is the last part of a foot to distort. What I mean by that, you get a flare going, the flare goes, it draws the white line with it, and then the sole starts to distort. But the sole's normally the last thing to just start distorting, so that gives me the truest projection of what that foot shape should be. The white line to sole junction, not the white line to wall junction. Does that make sense? Just You can't see inside the foot without an x-ray. And everybody's talking about coffin bone shape. That foot tells you. Then the back half of the foot, everybody forgets about these areas right here to fit. They're very tough to fit. So make sure you sculpt those areas and you can push your heel quarters forward, push them backwards to where they want to be. Looks, for a lot of people, I think they'll say I left a lot of foot on the bottom of this foot. I don't think so. It's not about, you don't get feet shorter by going vertically. You get them sore by going vertically. On my day-to-day work, only if there's some drastic flares do we dress a lot of people. Otherwise, I try and not teach my guys to do over-dressing. So I think that's just, we're wrecking wall things. Here where the clips are going to go, you've got to make sure you do have some straightness to fit. Otherwise your clips are going to become clamps, not clips. They're going to do the bang on there. And that's when people wonder, wow. Why does my foot, quarter clips rip foot off, quarter clips rip foot off? No, not if they're pitched at the same angle as the clips and the nail. It comes off the same angle. Like those are, they were the same, that one I bent. But if your nail's going in and your clip is bent and hammered up against it, you're pinching the foot behind it. So when you rip it off, or the horse rips it off, that's when the wall goes. It's not rocket science. Look at a couple of x-rays sometimes. Everybody looks at horses' x-rays when you fit up the feet with the shoes on. See what your clip is and see what your nails are doing. I'm going to put a shoe that I use a lot. Just the classic roller. You guys all know that shoe. Who doesn't? It's just a half-round shoe that's made by I think Conrad make it. And you can get in all different stock sizes, so it works. I think a size 2 or 3 is going to work for this horse. So I'll grab some of those out of the store here in a second and just fit him. I'm going to fit him center of stock. And that's going to dictate how much wood. I don't need to give him a bunch of support. I think support is overrated in length. Length is leverage. But if you put it in the center of the stock and fit it, you're giving him the support he needs. Just by trimming the foot, we haven't backed it up a ton. The feet look a lot better already. He's stood up a little bit. We didn't take a ton off. He's laying on the ground there.